I'm so glad you're here with us on Real
Yeah.
Talk about real estate. I have Traci Human from Las Vegas. So I'm super
Right.
excited to learn about the Las Vegas market. So Traci, we've actually already been chatting a lot. I've learned a ton already. So now we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so how is the market going in Las Vegas right now?
It's a good market. Um, it's kind of, I feel like it's teetering between a buyer's and seller's market. We still have low inventory, but we do have more buyers out there now that are able to, we're not having like the multiple offers that some of the other communities are having. So I feel like we're like almost we're not really a balanced market, but we're kind of in between the two.
Oh yeah. So we're still
Yeah,
the sellers think it's a seller's market and the buyers think it's a buyer's market. No one can quite figure out what it is. So the
exactly.
low ball
Yep.
offers and the stubborn sellers. So
Yeah. Yeah. We are in that market where sellers, if they don't price it exactly right, they are going to end up doing some price reductions to get it sold.
that's what we're
Yeah.
doing too, and having to do a lot of massaging of my sellers to realize you're not getting top dollar. So don't even start
Right.
there because then you just get stuck.
Right.
But
Right.
no, that's great. So
Yeah.
we were talking earlier, and I said I've only been on the strip because I'm a Las Vegas tourist. I've
Yeah.
been a little bit to this really cool little area with restaurants, but that's about it. So explain Las Vegas. Is it just one big city, or you have a bunch of little cities, or what is it?
We have Las Vegas is so we are in a bowl. We're in a valley. We're surrounded by mountains, and Las Vegas is the main city. There is an area called North Las Vegas, which of course is the north side of the valley, and then there's a suburb basically called Henderson. And back in the day when Henderson was first being developed, there was quite a distance in between Las Vegas and Henderson. Now it just runs together. You wouldn't even know that you're moving from Vegas to Henderson because it all just runs together. Yeah.
Now,
So
have they started building up the mountainsides? I just, I sit in my hotel and I look out.
they have. They
Yeah.
have. I grew up here. I've been here since I was 7. And I remember when, so Summerlin is one of our major master plan communities. And I remember when they first started building, I used to think, oh, they'll never, they'll have to stop when they get to the mountains. Oh, no, they're up the mountains. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
we went up the mountains years ago. Uh,
Yeah.
which no, so that's amazing. So what about price point? What's your average price point, and do they differ by Henderson, Vegas, or Summerlin?
Yeah, not so much. Like our average through the valley is about 425, 426. Like when you go median, because we have a lot of high-end properties. If you do median, it's more like 440. But we do have a lot of luxury in the valley. We've got like you probably have heard, like Mark Wahlberg and Celine Dion. We got lots of celebrities that have moved in, and so we've got some really high-end properties, and those, of course, bring the average up. So we look more at the median, which is about 440,
So
and it's still very affordable. We don't have state income tax. Our taxes are still pretty affordable, and our insurance is on the high end, and I think that has to do with the tourist aspect of, like lots of tourists, coming through town, and so it does end up pushing our insurance rates up. But
yeah.
it comes with being in a big town.
Yeah. So now,
Yeah.
like Summerlin, you were talking about it's a master plan community and it has HOA. So what do you guys
Right.
think HOA fees? Are they over the top or
So they vary. They vary. So if you're in Summerlin, so Summerlin is hundreds of acres, and they actually started building Summerlin in the late 80s, and they're just now getting to where they're almost to, topping out. But like we said, they started going up the mountain, right? And so they're not quite finished yet. And so what's that been? 30 years they've been building. And so if you're anywhere in Summerlin, you have an HOA fee of right around $50 a month. And then there's pockets within Summerlin where you have like a little gated community or that kind of thing. And then you'll have a sub association fee. So like mine, and they're still pretty reasonable. So I live in Summerlin and I have that 55 a month for Summerlin. And then, my sub association, we're a gated community, it's $100 a month. So
Oh
for
my,
$150 a month.
that
Yeah.
is so reasonable. We are
Yeah.
$1,000 a month. I
Yeah.
just had one that popped up. We're in escrow, went from 660 a month to 1,400 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The flood insurance, the hurricane insurance, all of that causing us issues.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right. And that's the beauty here too. Like, I mean, you could have disasters anywhere, but we feel pretty safe here. We get aftershocks, from hurricanes. From earthquakes, I've felt them before, but we don't have them right here. So we don't have earthquake insurance or hurricane insurance or flood insurance that we have to have. So that's a nice part of it.
Yeah. So you are our ninth island, as everybody here in Hawaii calls
Yes.
it, because
Yep.
so many
Yep.
and I know there's
Yep.
little pockets of communities where they're doing their luau's, and I have friends that have moved there, and I see all the
Yeah.
that they built in
Yes.
Hawaii there. But
Oh, yeah.
So now what
Yep.
about investing? What if people want to come in and buy rentals? Is it a good place to invest? Does it cash?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Like the values are still really good, and rental rates are covering, like you can still make a profit, you're not coming out of pocket to run your rental. Yeah, it's an excellent area to be investing in.
Now, what about short-term rentals? Do you guys have a lot of laws, or is it easy to have a
We
short-term
do.
rental?
We do. And I think that's driven a lot by our casinos. They really don't want that competition. And so, yes, they have really cracked down on our short-term rentals. There's some really strict laws. And so it's actually pretty tough to get licensing for a short-term rental now. Yeah. You can be grandfathered in.
Laws.
Yeah, you can be grandfathered in from, previously when they first had them, but once you sell that, you have to start over. So yeah, you're not seeing a lot of them. There are some of the high rises like MGM and some of the hotels, they have what they call condo hotels. And so they will rent those out. Like you'll buy your condo and then they will put them into the pool and you can use those as short-term rentals. So that works well.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what are those costing if you wanted to do one of those?
You could get one for, you could get them for around 300,000.
Not horrible. Yeah. And then
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's got all the amenities, just like being at a resort, you use all the resort amenities from, let's say, the MGM, you can use all of those amenities.
Yeah.
And, and they do go on up from that. You can get them for, pretty expensive, depending on what the amenities of the actual unit have.
Yeah, so it's definitely something to think about. So we all know that if you're in Vegas, you can go to the strip, you can go to the restaurants and the shows, but what do the locals go to the strip for entertainment, or what do locals do for fun?
Not so often. I was getting ready to say a little bit earlier. So we do, when we have company come to town, we'll go to the strip, just to show them around. But, if there's a concert in town, they have a lot of good concerts and stuff. So we will go down there. But, we've got the Vegas Raiders are now here. So the football is huge. Our favorites are the Vegas Golden Knights, right? And so that's a huge draw. We have hiking, we have boating, we have mountains where there's a snowboard and ski park. We have all kinds of, just like it living anywhere else, right? And in the works now, we're going to be getting a let's see, pro baseball team. And then they're working still on getting an NBA team as well. So we're going to have like the whole gamut of sports here.
Wow. Yeah, when we
Yeah,
were just there for family reunion and
yeah,
but yeah, we saw them building the baseball stadium. That's really going to liven up that end of the strip. That's kind of the
yes,
not so
yeah,
happy. So
right,
not quite
right.
as unhappy as the resort world and sorry, resort
Yeah,
world. You guys make a
exactly.
lot of trash.
Yep. Hmm.
All of this
Yeah.
stuff just beats resort world up daily. It,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. And it can use some refreshing, right? So
yeah,
yeah.
somebody needs to.
Yeah.
They'll do the NBA stadium at that end to get that into the a little
Right.
a little bit of
Yeah.
happiness. You know, circus.
Yeah. So we're excited about all of that. It's I mean, it's still a couple years down the road, but we're excited.
Now, will that bring a lot more people to the area for you? Like to
Yeah.
like when
So
we're
another thing that I didn't bring up yet is so they're also talking about Vegas being Hollywood 2.0, right? So like Mark Wahlberg is bringing a movie studio. They're still in talks with Sony, and there's some like legalities that are being worked out because they're going to get tax. They're hoping to get tax credits and things like that. So that's still all in the works. But with that one studio, they're talking about 10,000 jobs that'll be coming to Vegas. So
I think you're getting what used to be here.
I
We
think so.
have that film industry, but they wouldn't give them the tax breaks. So they all
Yeah.
out. Yeah. And now
Yeah.
that's a ton of jobs and you know,
Right.
home
And
buy
see, we haven't had that before. So yeah, they're like really working on offering those credits and those breaks and stuff so that we can get that here.
great for you guys. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it definitely brought business here. So no, that's good for you guys. So what else do you
Yeah.
do as a local if you guys don't go to the strip for fun? Is there other stuff to do outside the strip besides the
Um,
hiking? Are the restaurants as good off the strip?
oh yeah. Yeah. So we do have, like first class dining all over the place. There are a lot of them that are in the hotels, like the big names that we have, but we also have them off strip too. We have some really, really nice shopping malls that have been built over the last few years. Talking about Summerlin again, we have downtown Summerlin that has the Macy's and the Dillards and the Trader Joe's and all of those, and then lots of great restaurants there. Shopping, of course, is a big pastime.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
You
pretty
don't
much like just
necessarily.
like any other community. And then you have that, it's kind of like our Disneyland. I actually kind of say that it's like an adult Disneyland down there, right? And if you live near Disneyland, you don't go there every day or hardly ever, right? It's there, but you don't go there that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now what is bringing people there? What kind of are there other industries or is it just the casinos is your biggest employer and now the sports
But
team?
the
But
casinos are the tourism is definitely the number one draw. But as far as like it's really our low taxes and our low prices in comparison to other areas. One of our main draw is from California. And so, their taxes have gotten so high and their pricing has gotten so high. They can sell and come here, pay cash and, just live the life without having to worry about paying the exorbitant taxes and stuff. So that's the big draw. But there is a lot of industry behind the sports teams. But we've also Amazon's here. Lots of just because of those tax breaks, we've got lots of those types of corporations that have moved in.
wow, so that's great. So is there
Hmm.
anything you would want anybody to know about Vegas and why they should live there?
Well, so I grew up here and I've been here since I was 7. It's just been a really great place to live. Just a wide variety of options, lots of different types of neighborhoods and, you know, multicultural, of course. We have our Smith Center, which is downtown, where we have the like Broadway plays and musicals that come. So lots of stuff that has been brought here over the last few years that we just love. We just enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I always love when I go there. I'm going to have to venture off the strip and maybe
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've done Fremont Street, and I love the Mob Museum. That is probably one of
Yes.
the museums I've ever been to.
It's
Just
fun because of the history. Love to just see like,
and
mm-hmm.
you look at that, and then you look what it's growing into, and it's just, I wonder if they knew that that little piece of, nothing in
Exactly.
the desert.
Yeah,
Big.
when you talk about like the Flamingo was basically the first hotel on, on the strip, and it was just this little place, and now look at there's no land in between any of those casinos.
I know. And then Formula One, what is that like for locals? Oh my goodness. Just watching it from TV, I'm just like, oh.
It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting.
It seems
Yeah.
so chaotic and all the
Yeah.
we went when they were setting up, and it was the first year, so they hadn't quite
Yeah.
gotten a system yet.
Yeah.
So much traffic. So
It is.
does
It
that
is. It
bleed
is.
over
Yeah.
on the strip, or is it just kind of that area that gets chaotic and you all just avoid it?
Yeah, it's just that area. But
Okay.
so my son does work down in that area. And so during that time frame, he's got to figure out different ways to get to work and things like that. So it is chaotic when you're in the midst of it. But again, like if you're not in that area, in that realm, like you really don't notice it, So it's like
People moving
yeah.
there, you get to escape
Yeah.
chaos. Although my
Exactly.
guess we're gonna go one day to watch it. I don't know. Maybe I'll stay in
Yeah.
down on it. So
It is fun. It is fun seeing, like all the private jets coming in, with all the celebrities that are coming to see it, they're taking off one by one. And so that kind of stuff is fun.
yeah. So
Mhm.
but that is
Yeah.
great. Well, so if you are thinking of buying or selling or investing in Las Vegas, I can totally connect you. And I'm super excited. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Awesome. And I would love to help them.
Yes, yes. So and we do send a lot of people, unfortunately, because we are expensive. We do send a lot of people your way.
Yeah.
While they come back, about one,
Yeah.
and maybe 1 in 20 come back. But no,
Yeah.
and
They miss it. It's just a whole different culture. Yeah.
It is. But I always have fun when I'm in Vegas, and I don't even gamble, and I don't drink much. I just like the food and all the shows. So that's
There's always something to do.
Always, you're never bored. You're like, let's see what concert.
No.
Always get those, after the fact concert tickets, and we've gone to a couple Raiders games. I'm sure we'll go when the next sports team comes in. So
yeah, you got to hit one of the hockey games. They're a lot of fun. They're totally
I haven't done one of those yet.
Yeah, they're totally Las Vegas based. Fireworks going off, and showgirls are the ones who scoop I don't know what they call it, but when they're cleaning off the ice with their shovels, they're dressed in showgirls. So it's fun.
We need to do a mastermind in Vegas.
Yes, let's
not
do
on
it.
The strip, not like a family reunion, off the strip mastermind.
Right.
Well, thank you so much. It was so great talking with you. I'm going to shut this recording down.